Hey class. So here we are. We have our door in the end wall, centered in the end wall. I just realized I forgot to create the ceiling. So we are going to go back to level 2. We're only going to put the ceiling in level 2 because the bottom of the second floor acts as the ceiling for this house. But in the upstairs, we do not have a ceiling in place. And to show you that, what I'm going to do real quick is just, you don't have to do this, I just want to show you that where I'm talking about real quick. So let me turn this on, and then I'm just going to kind of do a 3D section through the house. So you can see that this second floor is sort of a large open cathedral ceiling, if you will, and I want a flat ceiling to go across here. Let me turn all that off. So we want to go to level 2 because the ceiling is going to go above level 2, right? Or this is the ceiling of level 2. So generally when we want to create an element, we go to the level that that element is placed. And you can also see here that level 1 is still turned on as our underlay, and we don't need that anymore. So we can come here to our underlay and say none. Hit apply, and that door disappears now. We come, again, think about our creation method. We are going to go to the Architecture tab, find Ceiling, and we're going to check our type. And this is, the default is a compound ceiling, a 2x4 ACT, which is acoustical ceiling tile system. We don't want that. We are going to click the down arrow and we are going to use generic. We're just creating a basic generic plane in essence. Its level is 2 and the height offset from that level is 8. So there's basically two ways we can do it. We can sketch a ceiling and we'll get our sketch tools, or we can create an auto ceiling. And the way that auto ceiling works, and that's the one that we're actually going to use, is that we simply move our cursor into a room, which is what we essentially have here, a bounded area, or an area that is bounded by walls, and we click once. It figures out where our ceiling goes and it creates it. It's that simple. Now we hit the green finish edit mode and we have a ceiling. Now the ceiling we won't be able to see unless we create sort of a section view. We don't really have to do that. I just kind of wanted to go through creating a ceiling. Just yet another type of building element and reinforcing that creation method that I talk about. Okay, now that we've gone back and created that ceiling, we can get back on track and create our windows. So we have two windows in this wall. They're on the first floor. So we're going to go back to level 1. And again, notice that we are sort of entering that creation pattern or method, if you will. So we want to create a window on the Architecture tab, Window. We're going to come over to our type. The default is fixed 36 by 48. We want a double hung 34 by 56, I believe. Now, we do not have that here. Now, we already have window double hung family. We could come in here and create a new type. Now, I don't want to get into that for this this introduction project yet. So we can also load family. This time we're going to go back up to our US Imperial, windows. So scroll down until you find windows. Now we wanted a double hung, so we find window double hung. We hit open. Now this is the same family that's already loaded, only this is giving us many more types that we can load from. And we want the 34 by 56. So that's a 2'10" by 4'8" window. We hit OK. This shouldn't come up. I already had this loaded. And it typically sets you to the latest one, but again, I had that loaded, so that might be why that's causing an issue for me. And again, this is a hosted element. So I will only be able to place these within a wall. Now, you'll notice that, again, just like the door, as I drag my cursor, I get different options. Typically, I want to have my cursor on the exterior side of the wall. So I am just going to place these in here randomly. I'm not even worrying about where they go. Now, they go 5 feet 4 off of the edge of my building. So once I place them, I can select them. And the other way to tell that they're facing the right way is the flip arrow on doors and windows is always on the exterior side. So if I flipped this, the exterior side of my window is now on the wrong side of my building. So I'm going to flip that back. Now, if you do not have any dimensions when you select these, you come up here to your options bar and press Activate Dimensions. And what that does is it activates these blue dimensions, which we call temporary dimensions. They allow us to place or affect the placement of these elements. Now you'll notice that the default action is to the center line of this window and the center line of the wall, which is not very useful. So to move this, I can simply click on this little dot on the witness line, this little handle, once, and it moves to the interior face. If I click it again, it moves to the exterior face. I can also drag that, but when I drag it, it always wants to default to the middle of the wall. However, if I move my mouse over the exterior of the wall and press the Tab button, which is the button above your caps lock key, Tab cycles through the different snaps, if you will. So now that I've tabbed, I can get the exterior wall and move that there. So now my dimension is coming from the exterior of the wall to the middle of my window. Now I can use that, click on the dimension box, type 5 feet 4, enter, and it moves the window to where I want it to be. So I can do that again with this window, activate dimensions, drag this out to here, hit the tab button, click on here, 5 foot 10. Now, one thing I didn't pay much attention to, again, I kind of didn't follow my method, was when I was placing these, I didn't quite look at my constraints very much, other than the, just that I had the right window size. The level that this window is referencing is level 1, and its sill height is 3 feet. Now, down here you have a head height, 7 feet 8. This door, its head height is 7 feet, right? Because it's a 7 foot tall door. Generally, you want the head height of your doors and windows to align. So I can come in here and type 7 feet. Now, again, I changed this 2D element, or what appears to be a 2D element in this view, but I changed something that affects it in other views. So I really have to think about this. If I forgot to move this one down, what I'm going to have, if we look at my 3D view, is 2 windows that are not aligned. So we have to make sure that we do the same thing to this window. And I can even do that in this 3D view. I can come over here, select that window in 3D, and type 7 feet. Oops. Enter, or apply, and it moves that window down. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, it's actually the last thing that we need to create, is our stair. So we are going to go to level 1, view, and create our stair in level 1. So this stair, obviously we need a stair to get from the first floor to the second floor. So again, notice the creation method, architecture, stair. We check our type and we see that 7-inch max riser, 11-inch tread is a commercial code stair. We click the button. We don't have anything that meets our requirements. So what do you do when you have the family that you need, which is assembled stair, but the sizes don't meet? Well, you edit the type. You create your own type. And you do that by clicking the Edit Type button. Generally, I recommend duplicating, but I know that I don't have any other stairs, so I won't make any mistakes by editing this type. But I do want to rename it so that it's reflective of what I want, which is 7 3/4 of an inch, which is residential max riser, and 10-inch tread, which is residential tread size, or minimum residential tread. We're going to hit OK. Now all we've done is we've renamed it. We have not changed the actual dimensions of this thing. So in the calculation rules on stairs, we come in here and we type 7.75. Now, the default units in Revit are feet, so I have to type 7.75 inches. And in this box, and notice I'm not coming in here and I'm not clicking and using my arrow buttons. If I click on a box over here past the actual dimension, it highlights the whole thing and I can just type 10 inches. I don't have to monkey around with, left and right and all that kind of stuff. So now I have my parameters set up correctly. I can hit OK. So now my type is correct. So I've just created my own type. That's the first time that we've done that. I'm going to check my constraints. This will go from level 1 to level 2. And the beauty of Revit is Revit will automatically figure out how many risers you need, and it's actually figured out what our desired riser height is. And if you remember in AutoCAD, we had to do all this math. It does it for you here, and it's extremely accurate, as you can see, down to the 256th of an inch. So the next thing that we are going to do is check our creation tools and our options bar. The width is 3 feet, that's fine. We are going to do it by drawing the run, and this button here, basically you create a straight line, and that's what creates the stair. So we're gonna use that. We're gonna come down here, and I'm gonna start my stair 5 feet. If I hover over the edge of this wall, it gives me that dimension, that temporary dimension. I'm gonna click there and drag out this way. Now it's putting it on the center line of the stair. I don't care about that right now. And as long as I drag out far enough, it's going to create the whole stair. And I'm going to click. So there's my stair. The only thing I have to do now is move it so that the edge of the stair comes down here. But the other thing that it's done is it's created a stringer. So, and that was in my type properties, that it was going to create a stringer. That's fine. I want a stringer on the outside, but I don't want a stringer on this side because that side is going to be up against the wall. So the first thing I'm going to do is select that, and hit delete. So that gets rid of that stringer. Now I want to move this thing down. But I want this edge to align with this edge, and there's a powerful tool for that in the Modify panel called the Align tool. So the way that works is you click it, and you see, please, down here in the status bar, please select the line or point reference for alignment. So that's asking you, what do you want to align to? And I want to align to this line. And what I want to align to that line is this edge. So you see how that works? I click the thing I want to align to, I click the thing I want to align or move, and it does it. It's a great tool, great powerful tool. Then we're done. We hit the green check mark button, and our stair is created. Now, I won't actually see this. Well, if you move around enough, you can actually see through the window and see that our stair has been created. Again, I'm not going to make you print a view where you can actually see that, but I do kind of want to go over how to create stairs. So, now we need to go to level 2, and we can see that we cannot actually see our entire stair because our floor is in the way. We don't have an opening. So what we're going to do is select our floor, and if you can't select your floor, come down here and make sure that this little blue square does not have an X through it. We select our stair, we edit the boundary, and we use the line tool, and we trace over our stair opening. We trim, here, let me see here. We can move this wall or this line to here. We can unjoin those elements. And now we have that opening. Hit the green check mark, and now we have an opening for our stair.